'cause Friday is my day. Because it's Friday, and I think it's payday. Somebody screaming Mayday. She got paid, hey, you better get out of her way. Debit card on melt, all the charges I felt. I need to keep on working, or I'm gonna end up twerking to earn the extra cash. Might have to shake my but I can't, 'cause I'm too old. Hey, it's Friday, oh, it's my day. Oh, we gon' party, 'cause it's the way. Hey, hey, what's up, y'all? It's finally Friday. When I get here, like, I have to hype myself up. I'll be really ready to go to bed, and then I'm like, you know what? It's Friday. You gotta wake up. You gotta give the people some energy, because it's Friday. How are you people doing today? I'm doing fair. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I am rejoicing, and I'm being glad in it. It was a nice day today. I went to the gym, went to the grocery store, and all those good things. Came home looking for something to watch on the tube, and I ended up watching, they finally released Freaknik, which I grew up in the 90s, but I never attended Freaknik, but just seeing the evolution of Freaknik, it wasn't intended to become what it became. It literally was just college students trying to have fun. And it morphed into the biggest, it became Freaknik. The thing is, like, the song, the statement that the creator said that they made it for Freaknik was based off of a dance, Freak Out, which wasn't even, like, I'm not gonna even say that. Provocative thing. Okay. And it just morphed into what it was, so unfortunately. But it's nice to see when it was innocent. It's on Hulu if you guys want to check it out. They were just some college kids trying to get together, have some fun, and yeah, you know how that goes. Kids can't be tamed. The only cool things about those times, nobody was trying to get famous. Nobody was on social media. Like, everything spread word to mouth. Everybody was living in the moment. It was just like a big mega cookout. And yeah, those were the days. To grow up without phones and social media must have been, well, I know it was a time to be alive. It was. We lived in the moment, really. We really did. We really relied on flyers and radio stations to tell us what was going on. So yeah, radio stations talk to each other, and then they call each other and announce it in that city, and then that's how you got to where you were getting. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, other than that, y'all, I really didn't do anything today. I just really prepared for Friday. Like, it's Friday. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Can you hear my voice? So, no charges to be filed in the fight involving Oklahoma teen Next Benedict, the DA says. Yeah, I don't really know. It's been so many kids dying lately from school fights. It's really sad. I really don't know what to say or do about that one. The young people are now the most unhappy people in the United States, according to a new report. Happiness and well-being among Americans has recently plummeted, and now a new cohort is leading the downward spiral of young people. The World Happiness Report, who knew they had that, released on Wednesday, showed that self-reported data for those under 30 knocked the U.S. out of the top 20th happiest countries for the first time since 2012. Found that among top factors contributing to rapid decline were young people's dissatisfaction with their support system, their living situations, waning confidence in the government, and a sense that they have less freedom to make life choices. The young Americans, I don't know what you could do. Yeah, young millennials and Gen Zers said everything from crippling debt to inflated rent prices to social media comparison culture has left them exhausted and unsatisfied. I can only imagine. I was literally just talking about that. Like, time before social media, I feel like everybody was happier. People didn't have that whole comparison thing. And inflation does not help. Dad grabs pistol and joins deputy gunfight with the suspect in New York, with cops say. An old-fashioned gunfight erupted outside a Florida home when a fearless dad grabbed his pistol and joined a deputy in exchanging gunfire. Happened around 9:40 on Tuesday in Sulphur Springs and began as a case of domestic battery by a man identified as Morgan Garcia, who was accused of violating a restraining order. The deputy ordered Garcia to drop his weapon, but he did not comply. Instead, took cover and began firing shots. And then the victim's father, fearing for his family's lives, retrieved his 9mm handgun and to return fire. It was during the exchange of shots that the deputy observed Garcia fire multiple times at the home's door in an attempt to reach family members inside. When unsuccessful at reaching the doors to the residence, he broke through a window with the butt end of an AR-15. Garcia then fled on foot, and the deputies lost visual. The people in the home were evacuated, and search continued during the night for the suspect. He's finally captured without incident. Garcia has been charged with aggravated assault. I mean, that's how you do it. That man the other day that I said hid in the back room while his family was being gunned down. No, you get out there and you fight. This lady here who was fighting cancer and ended her life with dignitas sends her final assisted dying message to politicians. She died at a Swiss clinic on Wednesday, having fought breast and bowel cancer. The 53-year-old former music industry charity sector worker teamed up with the photographer Rankin beforehand to speak out about assisted dying in a film released on Sunday. When you watch this, I'll be dead. I'm choosing to seek assisted dying because I refuse to let a terminal illness dictate the terms of my existence. The pain and suffering can become unbearable. It's a slow erosion of dignity, the loss of independence, the stripping away of everything that makes life worth living. Assisted dying is not about giving up. In fact, it's about reclaiming control. It's not about death. It's about dignity. It's about giving people the right to end their suffering on their own terms with compassion and respect. So as you watch this, I'm dead, but you watching this could help change laws around assisted dying. I think Dr. Kevorkian really messed it up for a lot of people. She also said, I resent that I don't have a choice. I think it's unfair and cruel that you have to travel to do this. I mean, it's an interesting way to go. It's an expensive way to go. I mean, if I was into that kind of thing, I'd probably just go to the most beautiful place and jump off of a cliff. You know what I'm saying? Let the sharks take care of me. But, because I mean, I don't want to do that either. I wouldn't want to do either one, but if I had to choose, that's what it would be. Let's see what else we got here. It was a few interesting things in the news today. Wendy's is delivering food by drone for the first time. So this is the Tennessee, the boy from Missouri that's missing. This guy says he has proof that he got into a car right before he disappeared. This guy named Flo thinks he got fresh insight on the case. He says, I got proof that Riley Strain got in a black car or a car. For those who don't know, he's a college student. In the video, Flo is speaking over a still image from a security video that shows a vehicle. Now a lot of people on social media are speculating and talking about the black car that keeps being following him throughout the surveillance. This is the street he walked on. There goes the black car again. This is another shot. Now in the video, the body cam of the cops, you see Riley is running down the street. Flo continues. When the cop turns to him, Riley slows down. They have interaction. He says, how you doing? I'm fine. The cop proceeds to continue walking. Riley goes the other way. When he goes the other way, there's a black car, and then there's a gray car you see putting his brakes on. I believe they lured him to the car. He said, now you gotta listen closely. He said, the 19-second mark, you hear somebody say, hey, come on, or something. And you hear Riley say something. Then at the 28-second part of this video, you hear the door shut, clear as day. Listen to this and tell me what you think. I don't know if he got in the silver car or maybe the black car, which explains why when the cop turned around, everybody's like, where did he disappear to if he just walked past them? Hopefully they find this kid. It's been a while, but the TikTok sleuths are on it. They are on it. I don't know if they own it as much as they were for Carly Russell. Shout out to Carly Russell. She's gonna just get probation for her hoax. She's claiming mental insanity, which she was mentally insane to do what she did. But the TikTok sleuths always also try to find her, and it ended up being a whole... I don't even get into them no more because y'all send people down a rabbit hole, and then these people ended up doing all this themselves. Minneapolis is blasted by snow from fast-moving storms zipping through the northern U.S. This mother speaks out after her daughter was targeted for a mock slave auction. Schools are still doing that mess, still letting that stuff go on. Listen, my son has something like that. I hate to even read this. HOA does suck. Renter cries that their neighbors block his driveway. We try to be nice, but they're going over our heads. If you have a driveway, they park on the line where you gotta squeeze out, but that is something you have to live by because there's hardly any parking in New York. Now he lives in Florida with his wife and is a part of an HOA and has a lot of parking. He explained that he lives in a cul-de-sac with many spaces to choose from. Rob puts the camera on his car and says that sometimes his wife parks next to him on the driveway. Obviously, there's not a lot of space, right? But when our neighbors have a get-together, they always force cars to park there, and sometimes it's partially blocking my truck. Rather than parking in their own driveway, Rob said his neighbor guests try to push the limit by blocking his car. Is it really this stressful to park right here? So what the HOA got to do with this? Another person suggested reaching out to your HOA about the rules. They've gone over our heads without talking to us and reached to our landlord about things. The third person said your mistake was living in the HOA. Yeah, we've heard. We were here because our family lives here. We love the community, but the HOA does suck. Yikes. Yikes. Don't I know it? Alright. Beyonce and Erykah Badu is fighting by herself. Beyonce is not. So here's another lady that announced her own death on social media as well. She died and left a message about her life. She was only 25 and she had cancer as well, and she just her message was really sweet. She pretty much just said enjoy the little things, and all the dreams and everything she had fun trying to achieve them, and it was a sweet message. And just the fact that some people embrace death, because we don't live forever, and so it's brave to embrace the inevitable sometimes. Sometimes people reach it before everyone else, but yeah, she said, if you're reading this and it means I have died from my battle with cancer, my family are posting my final messages on my behalf. And she said, I love my life. Everything I had achieved was what I wanted. I love my job, my fiance, my family, my friends, and my dog. The house we were going to buy in the future we were making for ourselves. She said, we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. I chose not to mourn the life I was losing despite being so devastated, but to instead enjoy every moment I left. As I've always said and I believed, you should enjoy the little things in life and cherish every moment. Romanticize your life. Do whatever makes you happy, and don't let anyone take joy of life away from you. She concluded by thanking her loved ones for making her life magical and leaving a special message to her fiance. Go enjoy your life now. You deserve it. What a way to look at it. But I have to say, she must have been an angel because she said she loved her job. I don't know if I would include that in my last message about that part. But she loved her job. That's where it was. I mean, sometimes I think maybe we just here to suffer because we gotta do that. But yeah. Florida vacationers beware. Great white shark Penny circling warm waters. Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Penny. I won't be in Florida anytime soon. Stuff I wanted to read. I was just seeing what else is on here. But let's move on. Onward and upward, kitties. So this site is like a gossip site. I don't believe most things on here, but some of the stories were just funny. So FanDuel seizes a customer's winnings for unpaid child support. Interesting. They have the right to do that, I guess. Antonio Brown says, sexy red stank. Antonio, as many women as you slept with, you stank. So this one was a crazy story. Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr. is served with his second eviction notice. He is 2 months behind on his rent. He said he ain't have it. His mama don't pay his bills no more, y'all. They said Wendy Williams was underpaid for her Lifetime documentary. This TikTok user paid $180 for a short set from Jaded London when she found a Shein tag. Played yourself. Played herself. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is launching a shampoo line. Sugar Ray Leonard said that he was sexually abused by one of his trainers, and I guess this is on the Caitlyn and Lamar show, Keeping Up with Sports. Yeah, Sugar Ray opens up about sexual abuse at the hands of one of his trainers. He was overcome with emotion after sharing his shoe for the first time in decades. He said, I was sexually abused by one of my trainers, and I kept it in my heart and in my head for 10 to 15, 20 years. He continued, I don't even know how long it's been. I never said anything, but when I said it, I broke down like a baby. I cried so hard because I was hurting. Oh, Sugar Ray. Sad. Dr. Umar is blaming black men for the BBL epidemic. He said, beautiful black queens, what are you going to do? You got a BBL at 32. What's going to look like when you're 72? What kind of health are you going to be in? How toxic those implants will be? What about the leaking bags I hear about? The leaking bags and the breast bags. A lot of our sisters with these surgeries, they're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Dr. Umar don't like that. These twins that are only 5 years old that were found foaming at the mouth in the Bronx were smothered to death. They were found vomiting and foaming at the mouth and were smothered. The mother, who has not been named, told police that her special needs children were sick and vomiting. She said she took a shower and came out at 11 and she found the children. Sad. Karrueche Tran defends selling her feet pics for $29 a piece on OnlyFans. I mean, she's selling feet pics, so. Simone Biles' husband, I don't even want to say Biles' husband, Jonathan Owens signs with the Bears. The Bears. So, y'all remember that Bishop Whitehead, Lamar, the dude that said he got robbed and everything out there in Brooklyn? A jury found him guilty of wire fraud. All that lavish living. Bishop Whitehead, 47, was accused of stealing a parishioner's $90,000 life savings and trying to extort a businessman. He was also accused of lying on a bank application for a loan. Whitehead claimed he had millions in the bank and earned hundreds of thousands per month. The flashy preacher made headlines in 2022 when he was robbed at gunpoint during a live stream at the Leaders of Tomorrow Church in Brooklyn. The suspects robbed the bishop and his wife of $1 million in cash and jewelry. Police later arrested Jawan Anderson and Saquon Pollock on robbery, conspiracy, and weapons charges. A third robber, Shamar Leggett, 41, was killed in a shootout with police in South Brunswick. The bishop offered to eulogize Leggett at his funeral. I forgive him, and I do want to extend my services to the family. I will eulogize him. I will preach the service, whatever I can do in a pastor's capacities. I will do it free of charge. Well, now the bishop is in trouble. Sierra's embracing her baby weight. Go Cece. One thing about Cece, she like, I'm thick, and y'all gonna get this. She's embracing all curves, okay? She's like, curves ahead, baby. She was from the A. They love it. Yeah, I haven't been on this site in a minute, so I saw some funny stuff on here that I was reading. Mary J. Blige got a man. She said, I deserve a good relationship. You do, Mary. I hope that dude treats you right, for real. For real. I think that's it from over here. Let's see what the whole TMZ is talking about. Gwyneth Paltrow says, cool it on the superhero movies. They're losing their originality. What do you mean, Gwyneth? They're superhero movies. They're not original at all. John Legend got a bird. Kate Middleton's surgery might have seen complications, experts say. Kate Middleton better not do nothing else because these people gonna lose it. They say Katherine Jackson received over $55 million since MJ's death. And Michael would have gave his mama all that money, y'all. Y'all better leave Katherine alone. Third suspect in the Chiefs parade shooting arrested. And of course this thing did that. You know what? I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Donald Trump is poised for a $3.5 billion gain from a media merger. It's on the brink of a massive payday thanks to a crucial vote happening on Friday. And with his media company and Truth Social, he's going to be able to pay these bills. So Josh Peck breaks his silence on Quiet on Set doc after receiving criticism for not publicly supporting co-star Drake Bell. So I watched the rest of this, and it was very, sad. Drake, his dad knew that his dialogue coach was suspect just by his body mannerisms, and the dialogue coach was able to convince the mom to stop letting the dad come around, and as soon as he did that, the dialogue coach started sexually assaulting Drake for pretty much a lot of his teenage years, and actually took Drake's girlfriend's mom to say something about it. And even then, Drake still denied it because it had been happening for so long and he didn't want to lose his show and everything. Then one day he just finally broke down and said it or whatever, which, you know, is really sad. But, you know, and then the dude only got like 16 months in prison, and then he had all these supportive people supporting him, saying the accuser, the actual dude that did the sexual assault. He had so many people supporting him, saying, oh, he feels bad, oh, just give him probation. And that did a number on Drake, because it's like, dude, like, this dude literally sexually assaulted me, and y'all writing letters saying, you know, he's a good guy, he'll never do it again. It just was a sad thing. And I personally would never. I remember, you know, and you even look at some of your nieces and nephews or your kids and be like, oh, they'd be funny on a TV show. But unless you could produce that show out of your own living room, like if you had a reality TikTok famous or whatever, and even that, I don't really believe in exploiting kids on TV. Like, as a kid, you think that'd be fun to be on a TV show, but when you see the outcomes of these kids, especially like Amanda Bynes, Britney Spears, all of them, I think all of them were screwed. Even Ariana, she seems to be okay, but because after coming out of the industry, most of them is jacked up. It's messed up what that stuff did to them. Megan Fox confirms her engagement with MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, is off, even though they drank each other's blood and they'll always be twin souls. One man arrested another one on the run in a $1.8 million Birkin bag heist. There's Carly. She has to pay about $18,000 in restitution and have probation. You lucked up, Carly. Don't do nothing else. Don't do nothing else. Alright, let's see if Dear Abby's yip-yapping about anything. This is hilarious. Dear Abby, I think my stepdaughter is a prostitute. Dear Abby, my 22-year-old stepdaughter has been receiving very large Venmo payments into her bank account. I know this because my husband, her father, is also on the account and I have access to it. We have asked her several times where the money is coming from. The first time she lied and said it was from dog walking. That was some expensive dogs. She has recently started claiming that her old boyfriend from 4 years ago, whom she broke up with because she found tons of photos of half-naked women on his phone, was sending her money. Abby, this isn't $20 or even $100. It's thousands of dollars every month. Her ex was a delivery driver. No way he can make that much money after tax. Where do you think she's getting the money? I say sex, but my husband refuses to believe it. What should I do? Suspicious in Texas. Dear Suspicious, I too suspect your stepdaughter may be involved in something sex-related. She could be an escort, have found herself a sugar daddy, or participating in a sex webcam show. She could also be involved in selling illegal drugs. Dang. Because your husband refuses to believe this, his daughter would do anything illicit for the sake of marriage. Take a step back, wait to see what transpires. His daughter's an adult and is responsible for making her own decisions. Because she has trouble telling the truth, there's nothing he can do to help. I would say also he probably need to get off that account with her. Because if she is doing the drug stuff, that'll make him an accomplice. But yeah, that's kind of funny, I ain't gonna lie. Dear Abby, I've been married for 28 years. Last year I was diagnosed with cancer. It was discovered because of a seizure I had at work. They put me in an ambulance, took me to the hospital, and did a CT scan, which revealed my stage 4 cancer. Prior to this, my wife didn't work while I had a well-paying job. This instantly reversed for obvious reasons. My wife was extremely attentive. She started taking me to all my appointments and spent a lot of time with me in the hospital on her days off. This was about a 6-month ordeal, and long story short, when I saw my doctors last week, they announced that after 35 radiation treatments and 7 chemo treatments, they can no longer find any visual evidence of cancer. I was so thrilled, I cried. Since then, my wife has been drinking heavily and getting angry at me just about every night. I don't know what's going on with her or what to do. She's the best woman I've ever met, and I don't want to lose her, but she's starting to become violent. Dang. Recovering but confused. During recovering, your wife may be reacting to trauma she suffered when you became ill, which meant she had to become primary caregiver. This, however, does not excuse her excessive drinking and violent episodes. Of one thing I'm certain, you must not allow the status quo to continue. Regardless of how much you love her, you should be evaluated by her. She should be evaluated by her doctor to see if something's medically wrong with her, and the two of you need to get into counseling right away because she can't handle her drinking. Yeah, that caregiver stuff is something else. It can get rough. You do all that, and then they live. Was she expecting you to kick the bucket, bro? Sound like it, ayy. Sound like it, ayy. Sound like it. When you didn't kick the bucket, she like, it rhymes with bucket. Now she's stuck with it. What is one useless fact that everybody needs to know? Lighters were invented before matches. Russia's bigger than Pluto. You could literally fit all of Pluto into Russia. Dang. The inventor of Pringles can was buried in a Pringles can. Yes, he was cremated first, and only part of his ashes were buried in the can. I'm not telling you which part. I mean, if you invented that, what a way to go. Helicopter isn't heli plus copter. It's helicopter. I ain't doing that. In the early 80s, a Toyota Corolla trunk key could open any Toyota Corolla trunk. The King of Hearts is the only king in a deck of cards without a mustache. A human's ability to smell the wet earth from rain is 200,000 times greater than a shark's ability to smell blood in the water. A woodpecker's tongue splits at the back of its head and wraps around its skull to keep its brain from rattling when it pecks stuff. Ugh, nasty thing. Nintendo was founded in 1989. They made playing cards. Coca-Cola was founded in 1982 or 1892. So let me start this over. Nintendo was founded in 1889. They made playing cards. Coca-Cola was founded in 1892. They made drinks with cocaine in them. Dracula was published in 1897 and was set in the same time. Ergo, you could have a Dracula adaptation where Dracula drinks a Coke and plays Nintendo, and it would be historically accurate. Somebody said, and since then he hates sunlight. Dracula sitting in a basement sipping jacked up beverages and playing Nintendo means he's an original gamer. If you make a hole in a net, it'll have fewer holes. Very smart. The Goonies go underground the same day Marty McFly travels to 1955, October 26, 1985. Dolly Parton was included in the production of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you get attacked by birds, put your arm, preferably holding a stick, above your head. They're swooping down for the highest point. I'm gonna be running though. Cats know time is passing. I think dogs do too. Like my dog knows time. Bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. Flossing is good for your heart. The firstborn is more likely to be premature is a myth. It started back in the day. Couples would get married and have a healthy premature baby 6 months later. Get it? Baby hedgehogs are called hedgehoglets. It's super important that you look at pics of them. It takes 22 psi to crush a testicle. A woman in a stiletto heel can apply up to 1,600. There you go, ladies. It takes 37 million bananas to deliver a fatal dose of radiation to a human. 37 million. Someone offered you $100 a day to stay off social media, what would you do? Shoot, $100 a day? I mean, it's easy, but read. I mean, there's lots of things to do if you pay me to be off social media. Read, watch the news. Somebody said I would receive $3,000 a month for the rest of my life. I do it for $10 a day. Yeah, I mean, I've been off social media and I really haven't, besides reading this stuff, I really haven't missed it at all. What has every man done at least once in his lifetime? P, sitting down. Felt proud after completely removing a skid on the bowl with P. I can only imagine men doing that. Stopped to watch a helicopter flying above. Peed where I wasn't supposed to. Played with my willy. Unstick my stuck balls. Kick a rock while walking and see how far he can keep up with it. No, he will not go back for the rock. If it gets left behind, he will simply mourn his loss. I've done that. It's actually a fun game. See, those are things you can do if you have no social media. Just go outside and invent really dumb games. Pull a push door. I think everybody's done that. Click tongs before using them. What's the most shocking statement you can utter in an elevator? True story, when I was 9 years old, I went to this weird carnival and the fortune teller told me that I would die in an elevator. I would randomly tell a stranger that story in elevators, especially if I have to go to the 22nd floor. Freaks people out every time. Part of me still believes I will die in an elevator. So anyway, they diagnosed me with leprosy, but they're still not sure if it's contagious or not. Pull your phone out and pretend telling someone the doctor said it's really contagious, but I'm taking a fast way home now, then start coughing impulsively. The gas station breakfast burrito isn't sitting well. Anyway, I hate getting in elevators when somebody rips their butthole open. If it's just, I hate when people fart in elevators and it stays. It just be, or too much cologne or perfume. It is the worst. And then you gotta ride down with that thing. It sucks. Alright, let's get over to Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for calling the police on my boyfriend for locking me in the bathroom? I'm 20 and my boyfriend's 27. We've been together for 2 years. Besides this event, he really is so kind to me and so good. I don't think so. I've never seen him like this. Basically, what happened was I went out to a coffee shop to study with a few friends. I'm at a university and we have our midterms this week. I was there from about 8 a.m. on Sunday. Today is Thursday as I'm posting this. My roommate is one of those who I was studying with, and she was also my best friend. I let her know that I was going to leave from studying to my BS. Well, when I got to my boyfriend's, he told me I smelled like coffee in my clothes and hair. I said, oh yeah, probably because, again, I sat there for like 4 hours. He said he really couldn't stand the smell. He needed me to change. I was planning on spending the night, so I had clothes, but I really didn't want to change right then. It started kind of a heated argument. I ended up snapping on him and telling him to stop and leave me alone or else I leave. After me raising my voice, my boyfriend grabbed me by my shoulders and literally forced me into the bathroom. He locked me in there. I don't know how. I was banging on the door. He told me that he wouldn't let me out until I washed my hair. I tried to get out for like 45 minutes, but he literally would not let me. We were arguing through the door. Eventually, I just got out the shower, but even after, he wouldn't let me out. At this point, I was sobbing because I had a throbbing headache and I wanted out. And I was getting claustrophobic. He kept me in there for 3 hours. I was sitting in my towel sobbing and begging him to let me out. Eventually, I realized I had my phone and called the police. I don't know. I was just desperate. I didn't want him to get in trouble, but I wanted my clothes and out of the bathroom. The police showed up. My boyfriend let me out, and they talked to both of us for a long time. Obviously, nothing serious ended up happening, but my boyfriend is mad. He yelled at me so much when they left, asked me if I was an idiot, if I realized how much trouble we both could have gotten in. I told him he shouldn't have locked me in there. He hasn't accepted my apology. No, you're not the a-hole, and you're actually crazy for thinking you're at fault. Somebody said, why are you apologizing to this idiot? He held you hostage for 3 hours and had about asked you to get mad. Yeah, you need some self-esteem, my dear, because you say he's really nice, but that's a red flag all day. Stop apologizing to this controlling psycho. What he did was straight up abuse. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband I'm no longer attracted to him? The title makes me instantly sound like an a-hole, and I'm aware of that. For some context, it slowly started after our second kid. Second child is almost three youngest is 4 months old. After our second child, he was sending messages to IG models about how beautiful they were, and one reached out to me to let me know. Of course, he denied it, but she sent me screenshots, so there was proof. While I was pregnant with our youngest, he was hitting on a coworker and taking her on lunch breaks. He doesn't know I know about this because I never said anything because I knew he would lie, and I was over it. The last incident is what pushed me to no longer find him attractive and just see him as a creep. I walked up behind him. He was going through a girl's OnlyFans content. Normally I would not care, but he paid to view her stuff. When I asked to see his phone, he tried exiting really quickly, but I grabbed the phone anyway. He had been searching this girl on Facebook, Instagram, and OnlyFans, and went as far as creating an account and paying to view her photos. The last one just made me look at him different and no longer find him attractive, and told him this. He thinks I'm overreacting. No, you're not, because your husband is a perv. Somebody said, not the a-hole, he's a jerk and no one is attracted to him, right? Like, your husband clearly ain't got no game because he has to, like, pay and see women. Like, if your husband was any kind of a catch, women would show him for free. Let's see. Am I the a-hole for not taking my ex's kids to Disney? I'm a 40-year-old male, and I have 2 biological kids, 10 and 19, with my ex-wife, who's 50. She has 4 other children, 24, 8 months old, 6 months old, and 3 months old. Her oldest, my former stepson, who's 24, was 5 when I came into his life. I was an active figure and continued to care for him after we split. We had shared custody of our shared children, and I took my stepson whenever I had my bio kids. I consider him my own. The other 3 boys have different fathers. I planned a Disney trip for my youngest birthday. I'd be taking and paying for my stepson and 2 biological children. The total cost was like $12,000. My ex is thrilled, but is insisting that I'm creating jealousy among my son and his half siblings. She wants me to take all of her kids. She says she wants to go as well, but wouldn't mind staying home. I told her that she was crazy and I would not be taking her kids. I would be only the real adult aside from my 19-year-old daughter and 24-year-old son. I'm not going to ask them to spend their vacation babysitting. I can go ahead and sum this up. No, you're not the a-hole. That's the price she made or having multiple children with different fathers. I mean, that's just how life is. I mean, it's just life. If that's a choice she made, unless she wants to give you some money and go herself, that's different. But no, you shouldn't be financially responsible to provide that for somebody else's child. What? Am I the a-hole for not going to my dad's wedding because he's marrying my ex-girlfriend? So this is a weird one, but here goes. I'm 27 and I've been pretty tough in a tough spot lately. You think? My dad is 50 and is getting married soon, and here's a twist. His bride to be is none other than my ex-girlfriend who's 26. Yeah, you heard that right, my ex. We dated for about a year a while back, and it was serious enough that she met my family and all. Things didn't work out between us and we broke up. It was mutual and not messy, but still, you know how breakups go. It's awkward and painful. Fast forward a bit, and she starts showing up again, only this time she's hanging around my dad. One thing led to another, and bam, they're engaged. When I found out, I was floored, betrayed, confused, angry, you name it. I felt it. It's been super uncomfortable for me, and I've tried to be cool about it, but it's just too weird. My dad knows how I feel, and we've had some pretty intense arguments about it. He keeps saying that they didn't plan for this to happen, but they fell in love, and I should be happy for them. The wedding's coming up, and I've decided I'm not going. It feels too much like a betrayal, and I just can't stand there smiling and clapping while my dad marries my ex. Most of my family says I'm being unreasonable and that I should put my feelings aside for the day to support my dad. They make me feel guilty for thinking about not going, but honestly, it just hurts too much. It feels like I'm the only one who sees how messed up this situation is. I've been trying to deal with it, but the thought of attending the wedding makes me sick to my stomach. Am I the a-hole for not deciding to attend? No, your dad's all out wrong, for one. All the women in the world, no loyalty with your parents. I can see like your cousin, your brother, even your sister with your father or your mother marrying your ex. It's really low. I do know a lot of women do mess with their ex's dads, which is crazy. But no, I wouldn't go to the wedding. No, I definitely wouldn't do that. You can accept that relationship, but to be there in a wedding, that's like celebrating their matrimony, which obviously you don't agree with, so don't go. That's fake as heck. Somebody said, yeah, if your father is mad about it, just tell him you made your choice, I'm making mine. Not the a-hole. Your father and ex are the a-holes. For real. That girl's only 26, marrying a 50-year-old. Dad, he must be rich or something. I don't know. But I know it's the weekend, and we, once again, have to come to an end. You guys have an amazing weekend. I pray that you guys are covered. You're head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. You're the lender, not the borrower. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll be back.